So a third of the business coming out of the US, and that means you're quite exposed to the tariffs because you produce 95% of your jewelry in Thailand. You have a plan to open a site in Vietnam, but there's a 46% tariff on products from Vietnam into the United States. So, Alexander, does this leave you looking for other production locations, or is that just not a path forward for you right now?
Well, first of all, one has to remember that even if I said, let's build another plant somewhere, that takes roughly 3 years. At least to get something up and running. The other thing is you need to go to places where there's actually a tradition of crafting. I have almost 15,000 craftspeople working for Pandora in Thailand at the moment, and they have 100 years of tradition of doing crafted jewelry. So it's not so easy. It's not like moving a machine from one place to the other. That would be a quite straightforward affair. So first of all, finding the skilled people that can do the jewelry for us is the first port of call. And then the other one is, of course, is the economics around it. So if you look at labor cost, if I would consider going, let's say, stateside, that equation simply wouldn't work for us because of us kind of being an affordable proposition. So in a way, this tariff is an unwelcome aspect, but we are not going to walk away from the positioning of Pandora offering affordable jewelry to the many people, not just in the US, but all around the world.
So here's something I've been dealing with today that is literally insane. And I feel like people that haven't been purchasing products abroad aren't aware of this yet. So basically I purchased this beach cover up from this European designer for like $300 and purchased it, checked out. And then I get a notification from UPS and they said, you're due $540. They said customs and taxes have been calculated and basically you owe this in order to get your package. And I was like, this can't be right. This doesn't even equal what I thought were the tariffs, because this is a brand that a product is getting shipped from Europe to me. Also, I thought that the business would have calculated those customs and duties for me, so I would have been aware of this prior to purchasing the product. So I've been on the phone with UPS all day, trying to figure out options, but really there's nothing I can do except try to return the package to the original seller and potentially lose the money that I spent on the apparel item. Or I can pay $550 on top of the $300 I already spent for this freaking beach cover up.
You know, I'm not political at all, but now that I know that like the tariffs or whatever is a big deal and people were complaining about it, what the fuck is this? I ordered a package and it was coming from, I guess, London, but they were like, oh yeah, you have to make a payment. So I'm like, all right, like it must be like $10 or something. Like, all right, and not a big deal. What the fuck is this? You expect me to pay that? Government charges, brokerage charges. You know, honestly, I would have paid the brokerage charges. Maybe I would have paid it, but like, so my package isn't getting delivered. Like, it's in my vicinity. Like, I can drive and go get it right now from the warehouse. But like, am I not able to get my package now because I have to pay $587? Give me my money back. Give me it back. Give me it back. It's never that serious. They think I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, just pay $587. Yeah. And yeah. Are you fucking dumb? My package wasn't even that much. Like I'm finna, oh yeah, let me just get my card. Yeah, let me just, okay, let me put in my card. Yes, and we paid, what? Like, what? It's already in the United States. Why didn't y'all say that before y'all shipped it from London to the, like, it's already here. Give me my money back. Yes. Okay, they accept the pay. Okay, it's on the way. It's on. Go fast. Boy, get the fuck out of here.
This is why these tariffs are so scary. Someone went to a farmer's market that's local and everything is going up 30% because the farming equipment isn't made here. So for all of the people in the I'll just buy all American train of thought, that's debunked now. We in America produce little to nothing in its entirety. Pretty much everything is imported, and a lot of things are just assembled here. Even the made in America things are typically not 100% sourced in America. So, like I was saying, even with real estate, you may say, oh, a house is built in America, but the lumber's from Canada, and the nails may be from another country, and the glue may be from another country. Everything that we do is from another country, even if it's assembled here. So trust me, even if you're one of those folks that says, I'll just buy all made in America products, you're going to be affected by these tariffs as well, too. Trust me.
This is Joe Biden's economy. That's crazy.
Now, why the hell China did this? China said we still want to make money. We don't give a damn about the tariff. We're just going to put the tariff price into the retail price. Because why the hell did they goddamn it up this shit from what? Look at this. From $30 to $86. Baby, they not even playing with y'all. Look at the other item that I promote. Look at the price for this. Baby, look at this one right here, y'all. Look, this thing here went from $21 to $58. Baby, China said we want the money, and if they don't know, they don't know. If they don't know that this was $21 a few weeks ago, yesterday, we ain't gonna tell them. We just gonna put the tariff price into the retail price because I know that they ain't gonna want to pay shipping. So let's just go ahead and include everything into the price and tell them they gonna get free shipping. But really, it's in the price.
Y'all, tell me why I had to submit my social security number, tax documents, and pay a $300 and something duty just to get a freaking package from DHL. Your girl has officially been hit by the Trump tariffs. This is the new world that we live in, folks. All these people out here talking about, oh, well, what have Trump policies actually personally affected? Yes, they have. I've been fighting with DHL for 2 weeks. My package has been sitting in Cincinnati, Ohio for 2 weeks because of Trump's tariffs. I had to submit my social security number just to get a package. And not just my social security number, but I had to back it up with tax documents. They really asked me for a W-2, y'all. All because Donald Trump decided to lower the threshold from $2,500 to $800 for customs and duties. So basically, if you purchase anything over $800 from abroad, you now have to go through the same process that professional importers have to go through in order to get their packages here. And the logic is that making things challenging for us is gonna make us buy American. No, it's not. You know what it's gonna make me do? It's gonna make me not spend any money at all. I'm going on a spending freeze for all of 2025 and the rest of this motherfucker's term. Because it's them greedy ass American companies that got us in this place in the first place. They outsourced everything to China to make a buck, and now those same freaking CEOs turned around and elected this crackhead to ruin our lives.
Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald.
Donald motherfucking Trump, do I have a word for you? Can somebody tell me why I decided I needed this beautiful dress for my European summer? God forbid a girl wants to shop. God forbid a girl wants to look good. I was so excited. I ordered this dress from Australia. It was delivered today. And what do I get? A phone call from my doorman. He says UPS will not release my package unless I pay $272 fucking dollars to release the package. So they're holding my dress hostage that I've already paid an arm and a leg for. Ronald McDonald, what is a girl to do? God forbid I find a sick dress overseas. Give me some better options here in the States, and then I won't have to shop in Australia. I honestly, at this point, might as well just book an airline ticket and go there myself and go shopping because this is so dumb. I ordered this dress. I was so excited. It was on sale, and now I have to pay almost $300 additional dollars, and the guy won't even release it. I paid, and he was like, I have to come back because, honey, it's not registered in my system. Babe, Donald, I know Tiffany and Ivanka are not happy about this. I know those girls are doing some damage. I know those girls are shopping. God forbid a girl has a shopping addiction and you have to punish her. I'll remember this. Do not fuck with my clothes. I swear to God. Do not. This is the dress that's being held hostage currently, and don't know when I'm going to see her.
What are we doing about these tariffs? I just placed an order for Dish because we are going on vacation and I'm still in this in-between of pregnancy versus postpartum, pre-pregnancy, all of that situation. So I don't really fit into a lot of my clothes right now. I placed an order with Dish. I just got an email from DHL that I owe $1,700 in tariffs. So that's going right back to Dish. I am not paying that. That was triple the price of what I ordered for the company. I feel like it was cheaper for me to buy a ticket to Australia to go to a Dish brick and mortar and pick up my clothes than order it online. Regardless, I no longer have clothes and my only option now is to lose weight. Better get a gym membership.
Donald Trump just got the UK to drop their tariffs to 0! Donald Trump's tariffs will never work. Stupid. Excuse me, shut that shit the fuck up, please. The President of the United States got the UK to drop their tariffs on aluminum and steel to 0. No other president did that. Do you know how textbook coded all of these events that are happening are? This will go down as one of the greatest trade deals in U.S. history. In world history, Donald Trump is bringing back free trade. The problem is, there are Americans, the people that Donald Trump is doing this for, who either don't understand or don't want to understand. And now my question is, why don't you? Why are you not celebrating the fact that America is doing nothing but big things? Even the fucking Pope is American! I don't give a fuck that he lived in Peru for this, that, and the third. The nigga was born in America! I'm sorry, this is great! Keep it up, Donald Trump. Thank you for being a president. We as a country needed one.
This message is for DHL and DHL only. If you're not DHL, you can still watch this, but I recommend you check in on your small business owners because we are not okay. DHL, I'm going to need to discuss this little invoice here that I received from you. I am a collector of handbags. I say this to say that I have been ordering handbags from other countries for many years. I actually order quite frequently from countries such as Japan, France, Spain, and Italy. I'm more familiar with importing than most people. Now, there's this little law called the de minimis threshold. So what the de minimis threshold is for the United States, for any item that you order from another country that is below $800, it is exempt from any type of import duty or customs charge. That's important. Remember that. There has been a lot of changes with the administration and there's been talk about the de minimis going away. The de minimis for China going away. This particular handbag that I ordered is coming from Japan. As of April 25th, 2025, de minimis is still in place for all countries. Okay, so that's important to remember. Now, I ordered a handbag that was $518 US. Remember, the de minimis threshold is $800. 518 is below $800, meaning that this item would be exempt from any kind of import fees, customs charges, tariffs, and yet I still receive this invoice from DHL. So let's break down this invoice. So I did get the standard 9% import duty, and that would be a valid charge if the item was over $800. 9% is pretty standard for a handbag coming from Japan. Again, if it was over $800, but this item was not. This was a $518 item. So we got a 9% on 518, so that's a $46.62 tariff charge, okay? And then we have the 10% reciprocal tariff of Donald Trump. So that 10% reciprocal tariff, as it turns out, that tariff is in addition to the original duty charge. Okay, so that's on top of, which I actually didn't realize that, but apparently that's the case. So the 10% Donald Trump tariff, which the 10% Trump tariff is $51.80. All right. So we're at $46.62 plus $51.80. So 19% total tariff slash duties, whatever. All right. Then on top of that, DHL has charged me a merchandise processing fee of $32.71, regulatory charges of $1.31, duty tax processing of $17, and clearance processing of $10, resulting in a grand total of $159.44. Completely unlawful, again, because this item, again, was under $800. It was only $518. And my vendor, as required, they provide you with an invoice. So you have that. You have everything you need to see what the package was worth, and yet I have still received an unlawful invoice. Listen, DHL, I know that I'm blonde, okay? But, hi, hello. I actually have really good reading comprehension, okay? I was a paralegal for 10 years. I know how to research and interpret laws very, very well. And yes, I have done extensive research to check and see if what you're doing is in fact lawful. I have combed through the Customs and Border Protection website. I looked at the laws. What you are doing is trying to implement laws that are not currently in place. And I do believe that you're doing it for profit. I can tell you what I'm going to do. I am not going to pay this. They can return this to my vendor in Japan, who will then resend it with FedEx. It is not doing this bullshit right now. But I see you, DHL. And what you're doing, not okay. Okay, let me get Spy.
This is a very important question. We find the Trump administration, very reasonable in this regard. They just did an executive order last week giving us about 15% exemption for parts, like you just mentioned, that are really difficult to source here in the U.S. Look, all of our major components are built in the U.S. or USMCA compliant. Seats, transmission, engine, axles, braking systems, steering systems. But there's wiring looms, bolts, fasteners, and other, we have almost $5,000 of semiconductors that go in the average Ford car. And, that's hard to source, industrial grade semiconductors in the U.S. So, there's always a balance here. But you brought up the most important point. And this is what we've been saying to the administration. They've been listening. Look, there's 15 or 20% of the components of a vehicle that either is very hard to source in the U.S., like semiconductors at this point in time, or we have to keep affordability like the Maverick around $30,000. If we build everything in the U.S., American consumers won't have those affordable new vehicles like Ford. Is growing. So that's the balancing act here. We're working through this with the administration. The executive order last week helped a lot.
I am loving moments like this right now for all you individuals who don't think fashion is political to remind you that it indeed is. Adidas has just came out and say, yeah, we're going to have to increase all of our prices in the US because of these tariffs. And to see an industry leader like that in Adidas just come out and say, you already know brands like Nike, Puma, and New Balance are all going to follow suit eventually. Now, Adidas is the only one I've even seen talk about this. I haven't seen Nike, New Balance, Puma, or any other brands really mention what they're going to do about the tariffs and all their products that are made overseas. I've seen some other brands like Amazon, Temu, and Shein say that they're going to raise their prices. I saw Temu and Shein were raising their prices like 150%, which is crazy. But yeah, if you're one of those individuals who doesn't think fashion is political, stop bringing politics into fashion, you can't avoid it now. All your stuff is going to cost way more, and brands are finally telling us that, yeah, we are increasing our prices over in the U.S.
This is a Bosch counter depth refrigerator, 20 cubic feet, $3,100. This is an expensive counter depth fridge. I can tell you about the two compressors and the stainless back and all that stuff. But really, what I want to tell you is that this is made in China. It's a finished good. It could be subject to 167% tariff. So this could go from $3,000 to whatever 167% is, like $8,000. This could be $8,000 next month. And what makes it bad is, you could get another fridge domestic for much cheaper. But a lot of parts like compressors, even these hinges, right, on any brand are made in China. So they're going to be subject to that tariff. So appliances are going to go up whether they're made here or other places only because guess what? A lot of the parts are made somewhere else and they will be heavily tariffed. So I'd buy it sooner than later on appliances right now. Hopefully, our government in China can make nice and all this goes away. But if it doesn't, there'll be a fairly large price increases.
I'm voting for Donald Trump for the economy and to own the libs. Well, there goes my shoe business. I don't understand why the tariffs have to eliminate the mini-me's exception. Why does the government punish small businesses in the country knowing full well that Nike and other big brands will be fine paying the taxes, but Steffi and I get wiped out? I think that's always fun to point out about this is they never blame Trump. It's the government boogeyman. Because it could never be your dear leader's fault, even though it was his plan and he's the one on the news saying the beautiful, beautiful tariffs. But don't worry, guys. A lot of MAGA saw his cry for help and decided to buy a bunch of shoes and products from him. Thanks to all those who bought shoes from the shop last night, but we do have to note that all customers will be required to go to their local post office and pay Trump's 145% tax before you're allowed to receive them. You get what you voted for.
$20,000, maybe $30,000 worth of tariffs. That's what I budgeted for. Now is going to cost me $230,000 to bring into our country.
When Trump was elected, he talked about these tariffs. But did this come as a complete shock, how quickly this happened?
Yeah, prior to this administration, we didn't pay a tariff ever. 8 years ago, right after my son was born, I had an idea for a baby product that solves a problem all new parents have of babies just dropping and throwing all their stuff. We've never paid a tariff for baby items. I have maybe 2 months worth of inventory left in my warehouse here. And when that is gone, I have no more revenue. I have no money coming in to pay my employees. I have no money coming in to pay my bills, which means I could lose my house where my children live and my ability to keep them safe and feed them.
All of us out here in California, we're not only rooting for you, we have your back. We initiated a lawsuit to push back against the Trump administration. The fact you're putting everything on the line and putting human face on this topic is inspiring.
I can't tell you how brutal these tariffs are. I'm a small business. I sell travel and organization products. My brand sells to Nordstrom, Macy's, Anthropologie, and also my direct-to-consumer site. But I'm telling you, everything is so uncertain right now and scary, and some big opportunities that we're going to be kicking off are on hold. I'm just like, what is going to happen? I'm trying not to stress. I've been through over 20 years of business. What goes down comes up. What's up comes down. But this is just like absolutely unprecedented. So if you had your eye on any of my products, I tagged one here. Check it out because I might have to raise my prices and I can't imagine doing it. I don't want to do that. It's like a bad dream and all I can do is just try and be optimistic, but damn. So support your small businesses right now. If you see something that you love, snatch it up because prices are going to be increasing. I'm a self-funded small business. This is my livelihood. This is my everything.
Okay, I'm working, so I'm just going to say this real quick because I work in procurement, which is a subcategory of supply chain management. And as someone who has to pay attention to trends and find a way for companies to save money, I'm noticing a lot of people rejecting their packages when it comes to the tax and duties that are applied to delivery. Now, in light of everything that's going on, these companies spend a lot of money in indirect materials just to get your product to you. So they're going to want to get that money back. I can see this going one of two ways. Either they're going to try to project these figures ahead of time and slap that on the cost of the product, or they're going to start enforcing policies where there's no refunds when you reject the package. Either way, we are in for a ride.